This week, we're taking you to market because if you've never been, you're missing out.
We're sharing our market planning advice, survival techniques, and the most important part, what to wear.
We even share our top questions for trade vendors.
You might just catch us at Vegas and HighPoint this year.
Let's go!
Hi, I'm Rebecca of Studio Plum.
And I'm Shaun of Renstead Interiors. We're interior designers
Turned internet friends.
turned real life friends.
Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
We're not that hot.
Or that young.
Every week, we'll be spilling the tea on how a new generation of interior designers can run their businesses.
Welcome to the club. Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
Just another repeat performance.
But this episode?
This episode, because I forgot to record our earlier one. Just a little behind the scenes for you.
We're just all giving you a peek behind the curtain over here.
Let's call it practice. So this one's going to be way better.
Our version of reality TV.
Unscripted. How's your week been?
Busy, but to the point where like come Friday, I was like, hey, we're probably not going to get a whole lot done today because I had fried myself like through Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday was kind of like a half day or a phone it in Friday, as I like to call it.
We're not here just so we can work harder.
Yeah, I could answer urgent calls. I still did a couple things like sending out my project updates, but by the afternoon, we were kind of done.
I'm done by most afternoons, so.
Yeah, like that was not a push it to 3 kind of day. That was like it's lunchtime and I'm done.
Sounds nice.
The dream.
So let's get into the fizz and sizz.
Okay. My fizzle. I feel like I'm designing a lot of kitchens and bathrooms, which is, I feel like a lot of us right now, but bathrooms in particular, y'all know I hate staring at toilets. I hate seeing toilets when you walk in. If I can put them somewhere where they're hidden by a cabinet or tucked around a corner, I'd love that. And one of my clients just really, really wants the toilets in a little commode room. It's just not possible, even after so many floor plan options for these 2 bathrooms, that it's not going to happen. There's no way to do it. They're huge. It's this big bulky closet like in the middle of the room, and it just doesn't look good. It's going to block windows or block light. So
yeah, you don't want like a tiny shower and just to have that. Like your bathroom still has a door on it.
yeah, I mean, it's not great to have the pony wall there to tuck a toilet away, but it's also, we're in previous 1950s and 60s bathrooms, you were lucky if the toilet wasn't the immediate first thing in front of you. So we're making improvements here.
In the 1800s, you were lucky if it was inside. I feel like we're moving towards like a lot more just nice to haves, and
yeah,
no one's going into the outhouse.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's okay. So as you so aptly named it on the first recording, that was my pizzle of the week.
Your pot to pizzle in.
My pot to pizzle. Bathroom chat. Next time on Hot Young Designers Club. Sizzle of the week, y'all. I know that you don't watch this, and I don't even know how many of the listeners do, because I think a lot of people think this like, oh, it's a gay show. But you guys need to be watching RuPaul's Drag Race. And right now we are so blessed by Mother Ru to be given 2 seasons to watch at a time. Like we have the US RuPaul's Drag Race season 13 is out on VH1. Steal your friend's VH1 login if you need it. And then because I am a sucker and I buy into the whole Drag Race universe of things, I subscribe to the Wow Presents, which is the production company that makes the episodes. And they are airing RuPaul's Drag Race UK season 2. And it is like, I mean, the accents alone make the show hilarious, but it's such a different brand of
Like a
drag comedy.
different drag culture.
Oh, totally. And then half the time you need the subtitles on, you need closed captioning on your TV to know what the heck they're saying because of all the various English accents, depending on where they are in the UK. It's
Is RuPaul
great.
hosting that one?
RuPaul is hosting UK, but she doesn't always host she didn't host Drag Race Canada or Drag Race Thailand or Drag Race Holland. She had other
Jeez.
famous drag personas host in those countries.
She really knows how to monetize.
Man, if she can make a buck and keep the lights on over at BBC and VH1,
I
then you know
mean,
what? We can keep the lights on here at Hot Young Designers Club.
really, she deserves it though because
She has been in
she
this game
made and
so
she like
long.
mainstreamed it for sure.
Yeah. She went through enough canceled shows and all this stuff to finally find what worked and to like hit it. And the show is Emmy Award winning. Like it's a really great show. I don't know. I laughed my head off so many times during the episode, like can't breathe, can't catch my breath laughing. So it's a
I
really
feel
good, lighthearted show.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really screwing up like my GBF status by not watching it. So I'm
Cecily
gonna do
would
it.
love it. They're all princesses.
Yeah, no, she really would.
She's going to
Okay.
give you
And it okay.
fashion.
Yeah, she needs to work on her catwalk.
So
She
that's my
doesn't.
sizzle. There's 2 seasons to be watching right now.
Oh, that's a lot of content.
I
You
mean,
better
it's a
stop
lot of
working so
TV.
much and really buckle in.
Gotta watch more Drag Race. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so Fizzle, I had a bit of a week last week.
Girl, understatement.
I mean,
Jesus.
anyway,
I
well, if you
can't.
follow me on Instagram, you already know all this stuff. But Sacramento had like this major storm, and I know California and major storm doesn't really get anyone excited if you're on the East Coast, especially right now. But we had a really bad windstorm, knocked out like the entire city's power for a day.
Like more than a day.
So the whole city lost power for a day, and people were getting it back on. Ours was out for a day and a half. It was horrible. I had to get like my Pioneer woman situated and learn how to light my stove with lighter so I could reheat my coffee.
Full on camping status.
Yeah, it really did. It was really nice and cute the first night because we had like candlelit takeout, and the second day was like, all right, I had to find another place to work. So
Yeah, like it's fun for that first day, and then it's
yeah,
not.
it's like snow day. Which we never get. Like we never get like acts of nature. Even when the cities are burning, we don't even get to close. So that sucked. Desmond got hurt playing, so he was like out of commission. He still kind of is. And then on Sunday, I fell off of a 6-inch curb and broke my foot.
Thanks.
So
Mercury in retrograde.
Yeah, Mercury really kicked herself off. I've never broken a bone before.
I haven't either. I just know it's painful and scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely does not feel good to fall down when you're older, when you're not that hot or that young anymore.
It's scary too, because you're like, oh, this is gonna be the one. Like, I'm gonna break my hip now. Or,
oh my
like,
God, I didn't even think about that.
Like, it just makes you wonder.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, it makes you wonder all the things. Like, super grateful I live in a 1-story house. Super grateful my family is like helpful and at an age where Cecily can help.
Yeah. Like she could go inside and get you help.
Yeah, she's, well, also just like
Like she could call
now she can.
911.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
these things. I mean, you need her to be like, get mommy's phone. Like,
Yeah. Oh my God. Seriously. But also like learning firsthand accessibility needs and just all the different flooring changes and transitions and how that affects my mobility. I don't know. It's been a learning curve for sure.
and how long it takes you to warm up your coffee now.
Everything's so much harder.
Everything takes a million times longer than it ever did before.
Yeah, everything. So that was a big fizz. A sizzle is, it seems like a silly thing, but I have been trolling Facebook Marketplace for months to try to upgrade my desk.
Yes.
And I knew exactly what size I wanted. I wanted like an executive desk so it could float in my office, have a finished back.
Executive realness.
Yeah, I want to serve some executive realness and fire people from across my monitor.
Get your
Just
things
kidding.
and get out.
Desmond, I have nobody to fire. But
Desmond's like, what? Think of the children.
yeah, so anyway, I found this beautiful gem with like really horrible pictures, so I knew it was going to be good. And I brought her home.
When you said beautiful gem, that's Cecily talking.
Oh yeah.
Look at this beautiful gem.
This beautiful gem with her shiny brass hardware that just needed a little polish. And yes, she has like, I've never had a desk with so many drawers and organizational opportunities and those little cutting board slide outs that come out on both sides.
So you could pile them up like a angry CPA.
Yeah, I can get my calculator out and just type and
but it has to have the receipt tape coming out. And then you're like so typing faster than it can print. Like,
yes, maybe even on both sides. I could have like double.
Oh no!
I'll get my little CPA green.
I need to stop
visor.
Encouraging this.
I need a little visor.
What are you, like a horse racer racketeer or something? Like,
I work at Hogwarts Bank. What is it?
Green Dots? Yeah. Okay. Gosh, why did that take a second for me? I should not take that long. Okay.
Anyway, it was $75. She's so cute. She's vintage with turn legs and
like, when could you ever get something that cheap? Like, let's just be real, you know?
Like, never. Like, I was looking at real pieces from trade sources because I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just invest. But it's like a lot more than $75 to do that, even with our trade discounts.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite ready. And I like to redecorate every 2 weeks. So I'm not a great candidate.
You don't want to invest too much into it.
No, but if we get to go to market, I will be investigating to see, because maybe I will. Maybe I'll be ready.
I mean, you could find something spectacular at market that you didn't even know existed for you, and
and get to see how the drawers work and all that.
All the fashion. But there is something sturdy about a big old desk that you don't get in a lot of new stuff.
Totally. And I love... I don't know. I was saying this on my stories. I kind of like that it has like dings and ink stains and all this stuff. Like, it had like a productive soul.
Yeah. Like, it's already lived a really good life. And
yeah. So I'm going to take that energy and pull it into myself.
Well, and now at least it's got a spot for you to put your foot up underneath it.
It does. Desmond's not on it.
When he's not camping in there like a cave.
Yeah. Well, I am really excited to get into the episode this week because we've been kind of putting this one off since attending markets has not been a thing.
It hasn't been happening, but y'all, 2021,
we're optimistic.
Happening.
We're optimistic. So start planning ahead.
I'm gonna see all the hotties there.
All right, let's talk about the elusive market.
Oh
Feels
man.
elusive.
Okay, you guys, like in anticipation of everything that's in store for us that the universe is paying back to us this year, we want to talk about markets.
Yeah, in the
And
season of new hope, we're feeling very optimistic.
yes, and if you've gone back to our process party episode where we talk about working with trade vendors and buying to the trade at wholesale prices, like this is the pairing, like a good
Mhm.
wine. We're pairing this market's talk to go with that idea because that's how we find a lot of our sources.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just so inspiring on so many different levels. So we should just start with why it's valuable to us.
Okay. I feel like it's a multi-pronged approach about what we get out of market. So, first and foremost, there's a social aspect. And that's even for my introverted extrovert self, the social aspect of getting to be around the energy of other designers, talking with people, oohing and awing over things. For you and I, socializing and kind of having a crew to just be around when we're by ourselves so much is really inspiring.
Yeah. And I've been to a few Vegas shows with designer friends, the last one being with you. And yeah, it's just like really fun. I mean, it's always fun shopping with a friend, but just having somebody else like draw your eye to different things or having
Hmm.
different experiences, that part's really fun. And I think like our last trip to Vegas was a year ago now, right?
Like a
Like,
year ago this week.
yeah. So if you haven't heard the backstory, that's where we met for the first time, actually.
Also, where have
And
you been for the whole, last year of our podcast, if you didn't know
yeah,
that?
we've maybe talked about that a few times, but it was also the most social I've ever been at a market, and coincidentally or not, the most fun I've ever had. It like made me want to stay extra days where before I still had fun with my friend that I went with, but we didn't need to go for 4 days because like yeah.
You kind of were done by that point.
Yeah, like we were just going fast. It's also we were like going fast because it was just the two of us. We weren't stopping a lot to chit chat. But when you and I went, we stopped a lot and chit chatted a lot with each other, but also designers. We stumbled along and we fangirled with some
Yeah,
people and caught a cab with Jenny McDonald, which was amazing.
I know. And now we're like BFF. I'm just kidding. No, we're not. But I mean, we
We love
are.
Jenny.
We're not. We kind of are. It's like
We're not
that.
not.
We're not. It's kind of like that. Did you ever watch the show My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
No.
She's like obsessed with this guy, and she like changes her job, moves, everything, and then shows up like where he is unannounced. I'm not gonna do that, Jenny. Sorry, I promise I will not do that to you.
Oh, like when I showed up with a little neckerchief at our call that we had when we interviewed Jenny.
Oh yeah.
We'll be so
But I
cute.
think that's part of the fun is to have those moments, to have the time to let those things happen and not be like, well, I got to get back to my showroom list. And it's like, stop to give yourself that time because we so infrequently do this for ourselves in our industry. This is your one chance to sort of, it's like spring break for designers.
Yeah, yeah. And hopefully you guys will feel if you're kind of like I'm pretty shy normally and wouldn't just like rattle someone's cage, but if you see us or if we end up doing meetups, like we really hope you're involved with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're a little bit ahead to know exactly what's going to happen. Trust that you guys will know when we know what's going on because there's two major markets for me that I think, well, not major maybe, but they're each different caliber. Like High Point is the market in North
National,
Carolina.
yeah.
That's really like that's huge. And then Vegas is nice just because it's close to us.
The West Coast like pop in, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of vendors aren't there that will show in High Point, and then there's just a different caliber of audience for some furnishings and things. Like it's very expensive for them to go to these and to have showroom space. So if I feel like Vegas is a good place to wade in to get looking at things, and then High Point is like an undertaking.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like work out before we go to High Point.
Like build up our stamina. I mean, it's worse than like, I'm not going to say worse. It's kind of like being at Disneyland all day. You have to pace yourself. You have to know when to rest, take a break. You can have overload, like stimulus overload.
Yeah.
So
it's like when I was in Paris, I'm like, I have beauty fatigue. Like I can't look at any more pretty shit for a minute. Like
all these buildings are so pretty. They're all now ugly.
Yeah, like this
so
all this priceless art, I'm sick of it. But it's kind of like that where you're like, oh yeah, another gorgeous chair. Like you have to be prepared for it and have tools.
Boucle all day. Okay, enough already.
Yeah, but it's still like like just yesterday I was starting to go through but I went to reference my Vegas photos to see if I had any snapshots of some chairs I was looking at, because you can't trust the website. So
oh my god, no.
And so like I have some tips on that and things that I've learned and will continue to do better at. But yeah, you can't take too many photos, I don't think.
I mean, it just
when your brain's tired and doesn't want to when your brain doesn't want to take any more in, like just snap a picture and deal with it later,
And scroll with it while you wait for your flight home, or ooh and ah over them for weeks later. We should talk about how do you get to market, like registration, what's out there. There's markets all over: Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, or no, Dallas,
yeah,
New York. Like everyone has one. So I don't know where every listener is. I mean, we know where a lot of you are, but if you're thinking about a market, you can register to attend markets in your area. If you go to one market website, they generally link to other markets because a lot of them are owned by the same companies.
Like so Vegas and HighPoint are owned by the same management.
Right. Like they'll cross promote the events because they want people to attend, from the whole country. But if you're going to kind of make a real effort out of it, I would say this is a phase where you already have like a formed business, should like ideally have your resale certificate. So the idea would be you're going because you want to be able to start selling to the trade product, and you need to be ready for it. Otherwise, I feel like it can all just go over your head if you're not putting yourself in the perspective of buying it for a client. And it's great to go look at pretty stuff but that's like a different way to attend it. I think you should just be ready to have accounts being set up and be thinking about how you're going to
how are you going to sell this product? Like you can go in with, I've gone with actual like shopping needs of certain items I'm trying to source, but also, in general, like you should be learning the lines and kind of where they will live in your repertoire and kind of the price point, what you think you can sell stuff at, and build your vendor list.
Yeah. And you can attend without that, but you do still need to have a formed business. Like they're going to ask for your website when you go to register. They're going to want to know your position, what you're interested in, because they don't just want
it's not open to the public. Yeah.
Right. They don't want consumers. They don't want looky-loos. Like even if you can bring like one guest, but they have to be a non-buyer. Like if you had a spouse or someone
people bring clients.
I think that's gross, but
yeah,
that might be because I just wouldn't want to travel with my clients. And then I also don't want the clients there seeing the pricing.
Right. Because
the pricing is the scariest part. Like, I don't want a client there going like, oh, well, if we're buying this sofa for $2,000, why are you charging me $4,000? And it's just like, hey, ma'am, that's
I mean,
calm down.
Like, if that's your pricing model, that it's like cost plus
right, like a flat percent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just not my jam. But I just think that's also part of the fun is like you're there with designers. you're not there with clients, you're trying to like enjoy it, but it's not like there's a big hurdle to entry as far as like they ask for your website. They don't ask for your resale certificate. They just want to know like what's your intention of coming.
Do they
And I
not?
don't well, I don't know. It's been so long since I first registered.
I
I
thought I
don't
had to
I'm
like say like
just
I
say
thought we
like how
did have
much
to
you
have our
buy,
resale.
your
Yeah.
website, your name.
Any companies that you're currently doing business with?
That might have been the first time. It's been a minute, guys. I can't
Yeah.
recall because at once you're registered and you're like in their system to go to future events is just a really quick like relink process, so that's much faster. But I would say, yeah, this is definitely not a looky-loo situation because by the time you're actually going to be ready to use those things, those lines will probably not be the new seasonal lines anymore, and those furnishings may not be available. So it's one of those things you kind of want to feel like it's timely. And if you miss one market, guess what? There's like, I don't know, there's at least a dozen around the country all year. So
Yeah, and I think they all kind of, or not all, but some of them specialize in certain things. Like Dallas, I think, is a little bit more gift oriented, and New York is, and then yeah, like not all vendors are in Vegas, but
yeah,
they are in High Point. Usually they are in
there's a
both.
lot of furnishing and case goods in High Point.
Yes. So, of course, the last, I don't know, 250 days have been a little tricky with travel, and 2020 was a bit of a wash. Luckily, we got one in
Yeah.
under the wire. But yeah, I am really looking forward to attending this year, feeling optimistic, like I said. I booked my flight to go to April Vegas.
Vegas market is in April this year. They moved it back from winter market in January. So it's the same
Mhm.
market, just push forward a season into the spring. High Point will be in the fall.
Mhm.
So, y'all,
We'll be there unless
we're,
things just turn
I
into a
mean,
complete shit show.
yeah, if something really goes south on us or goes sour, we have refundable tickets, but it's kind of happening, guys. So we'll tell you more as things get closer, but this is still early. We're still figuring it out. This might be one of those like in the checkout line at a store and you're just like, impulse, I'm going to try to do this because I'm feeling optimistic, but I'm putting that energy, I want to manifest it into existence. So
Yes,
we have
it's gonna
some
happen.
yeah, we have some tips though on how do you get through market. And I think when you register, this would be the one going back to registration. Okay, you're registering. Probably, I think the easiest thing to do is use like a throwaway email address that you is not your main primary like doing business email address to register because they're going to send you a bunch of stuff and email you and some of them you'll want and some of them you won't. And
Well,
it's kind of nice
each
if it
showroom will. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take that advice this year.
because then you come back from market and 20 of the emails are in your primary inbox and you're trying to work with clients.
Every single day, though.
Yeah.
Like I
And
still
that, yeah, at
I get
night they're
them
going to
every
be
day.
sending you. But otherwise, you're going to be spending time grabbing them and putting them in like a Vegas market subfolder in your inbox so you can go back later. But it's just easy if they all go to like, you can create one, like literally create just a Renstead Interiors at Gmail, like do a cheapy one if you have to, if you don't already have another, general inquiry box, create something if you need to get all that junk out of the way so you can get back
Yeah,
to work. So
yeah, I'm gonna
that's
do that.
like number one, make it easy on yourself before you register. Because once they have your email, they have
Well,
it.
well, in every single showroom you walk into, they scan your badge, which means they capture your information so they can send you newsletters for that showroom,
Right.
which is totally fine, but a lot.
Or the showrooms have like the wedding registry scanners where you can scan the stuff that you love and then
Hmm.
they email it to you afterwards, which is amazing. But you want to put that all somewhere where you're going to get to it and not just junk it or trash it.
Yeah. Hey, Shaun, have you signed up for the Hot Young Designers Club newsletter?
Oh, no.
Really? Is this you not wanting to clutter your inbox with a lot of excess junk?
No, no. Let me do it. Where do I need to go?
You need to go to hotyoungdesignersclub.com, scroll down till you get to the subscribe button. You just pop in your email address and your name.
All right, I'm doing it right now. Is this going to be a bunch of spam?
It's not. It's actually not going to be anything until we actually get around to sending something. But we have big plans and we want to be able to send surveys to get feedback from our audience and maybe once in a while a special surprise or a recap.
All right, I'm on it.
Thank you. Back to the show.
Maybe let's start with the practical, like, this is the survival tips. Like, you're going to Disneyland, you're going to have to bring sunscreen, you have to do that. But this is market. So things are a little different.
Yeah. Should we talk about like the fashion of it all?
Okay.
That's like what's our first question, right?
The fashion. Okay. You're going to want to be cute, but you're going to need to be comfortable. You're going to walk around all day, up and down stairs, flights, around showrooms. It's like going to the mall all day.
I mean, it literally is a mall. It's like 3 10-story malls.
Yeah. So not the day for heels, unfortunately, and probably not the day for the boot. Like you really, it needs to have some cushion and some comfort because you're going to be hurting after a few hours.
Luckily at Vegas, you're indoors, so you are inside, but yes.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about sunscreen and all that, but
or like asphalt, like
yeah, like pounding the pavement.
Yeah.
But you also need to feel you're going to be getting in and out of chairs. Like you don't want a garment that's going to keep riding around or moving up on you while you're sitting in things and testing them out. Like you just want to feel like you have comfortable ability to do that. Maybe a light layer because it's cold.
It's cold and hot.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes
I remember getting hot, especially summer Vegas. Holy shit!
Oh gosh, yeah.
I literally
those are like
passed out once.
Please don't do that. Oh, there will be water bottles everywhere, so don't bring any. They will have them in practically every showroom all over the place.
And probably
free.
Still with COVID precautions, I would think that they'd still have those little bottles.
Right.
Usually they have huge spreads of food, which is amazing.
I'm curious to see how that will proceed.
I've heard they don't do that anymore.
Which is fine. There's other food options. There's food trucks outside, which are okay. But I'm sure if they're going to stop a lot of the indoor meals, they're going to have some other alternatives. But the nice thing is you're in Vegas, so there's some amazing places.
Right.
Like it's not doesn't have to be a bring your lunch type of place, please.
No,
like,
but
maybe bring a protein bar.
Yeah, I would bring a power bar because there is like when you can be kind of at a distance from food possibilities, and if it's not a big buffet anymore, then
you don't want to grouch out on whoever you're there with.
No, because it used to be like, oh, so and so is getting Chipotle, and they would have like
a whole burrito bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's happening for a while. So
even if it's
bring
just
a little snack. Yeah, like a little snack in your fanny pack.
But be cute because you are going to see people and you're going to want to take some pictures with people. And
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of designer uniforms with the cute hat.
Everyone will be wearing their big felt hat and their prairie peasant dress and their boots
with like a flowy top and
a suede boot.
Yeah, booty.
And a big oversized sweater.
It's so funny. Every time I get on the plane to go to the shows, I'm like, designer.
Yeah. There's definitely some of that going on. And then I'm always shocked when I see people in suits though, because I'm like, okay, no, come on, guys. Like,
but some of them I think are buyers or
right, they're corporate buyers, like Williams Sonoma Group and other people.
But then you see like some people make fashion of it. Like I just remember this guy in this like Pac-Man suit. like he had some flair. Like it was,
Pac-Man?
yeah, it was like a full Pac-Man video
Like
game
printed?
background. Yeah,
Oh.
he had
I
some.
mean, he did that.
He did that, and he was feeling it. So he was rocking it actually. But yeah, no need to like overly dress to impress. You're gonna see the full range. Like
Yeah.
you'll have people in yoga pants
I
and
mean, they're
a
ready for
cute
that.
sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Like I might mix that in, honestly, depending on what
Next
my
time
schedule is
around.
that day. Yeah, in a
Yeah.
cute way.
But be ready to be comfortable. You're going to be in it all day. Probably have like a small or light bag that you could really carry all day.
You
This
don't
might,
need to like haul around stuff. Like, don't accept any binders or pamphlets or any of that shit. Like,
yeah,
you
maybe
won't
just a
need.
small notebook that you can write some notes in, vendors, a list or something that you could put it away.
Yes, more note taking, but don't think you're going to be like getting materials or like you don't need
That's
to
not like when you go to the
take.
auto show and they have tons of stuff to hand you in
Yeah.
like bags. Like you don't want
They kind of
bags
will
at the
try, but you
door.
don't
Like
have to. You can tell, like, if a vendor wants to give you their catalog, you can be, like, hey, actually, can you just send it to me? Oh, yeah, no problem. Like,
totally. They can
don't,
scan your badge and then do that. Done.
yeah, don't be hauling stuff.
The little bag
Um,
is good though, because you're gonna want to put a charger, like an external battery
yes,
for your
external
phone
phone charger for
and the
sure.
cord. Don't forget the cord, you guys. You're gonna need that too. There's really nowhere to sit down and charge it in a wall. There's not really great spots for that, and that
Well,
just
you're like
looks
airport style
gross.
sitting on the floor. Like
Yeah, that
we
just
did both,
doesn't look
didn't
good.
we? We had to. I
We
think I
had
burned through a
to.
battery and had to still wall charge.
Yeah, that it's definitely one of those events where you need to start the day with a full charge and you really need to focus on limiting your
Video.
like video and use of a lot of apps because you're going to use it up taking
Like
taking pictures and video of stuff.
Instagram stories will burn through your battery. So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
my tip might be to just like take video, but then post them later when you're back at the
Oh
hotel.
yeah, because the signal with so many people gets rough
Hmm.
because it's just so much demand on the cell phone networks that there were times that people would get separated from us and then we're
Oh,
texting
yeah,
them
we
where
had
we're
that
at and
there.
we it took so long to get
Where
back
you
in
at,
contact.
Ashley?
Yeah. And then we're like three showrooms behind. She's like, I went to the last one that I got because the texts were all coming in so delayed
Oh,
that she was like, well,
yeah.
I went there. And we were like, well, that was like 2 hours ago. So
Yeah.
it's
But you do
good.
want to keep, like, yeah, you need your charge. So, and then the other, like, dumb tip, I don't wear any kind of necklace or any kind of like
Like
cute thing that,
accessory.
yeah, because your badge lanyard, you have to have it on all the time. So
Right.
you just don't want to get all tangled up
Yeah.
and it gets
Don't
in the
wear a
way.
lot of accessories. Like you're going to be getting up, you're going to be moving your
A
arm a
cute
lot,
hat is
looking at
fine. We're
tags.
not
But
like, we love a hat moment. So we'll be wearing our
yeah,
hats.
I mean, a hat will show up at some point because it's market, you're getting up early or you're tired and you're like, okay, today's the ponytail day, today's the hat
Hmm.
day. Like, we're going to need those moments. But yeah, keep your badge. Don't have a lot of stuff on you. You don't need a lot of jewelry and bracelets and all. Like, they're there to do
Keep it
business.
light. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't okay, this one is big depending on the phone you have. Make some room before the trip, archive photos, export stuff. You're going to need a lot of room.
For photos.
Yeah, photos, video, like clear out your space if you don't have enough. Download the Market app. They usually have like an app they'll use so you can look up the directory of places on your phone if you need to. Because it can be kind of hard where to find a showroom if someone's like, oh, you have to check out Curry and
Yeah.
Company. And you're like, where is it?
Okay. This is where my Virgo really like kicks in. My Virgo Girl Scout. Okay. So I think I even like dragged you into this whole situation, but I get a little like OCD about being prepared for this kind of stuff. So I created a spreadsheet and I have it Every year I pull it back up.
Yeah.
Update. So it's just like a little half sheet that I can just have in my pocket because again, you don't want to be draining your phone, like looking for shit all the time. The app
Right.
is good for a pinch, but if you know in advance, here's our list. So there's 3 buildings. I have them organized by building, showroom room number, and then we would strategize per day. Like, so you and I, like, we decided, okay, first day we're going to do this,
Yeah.
this, and this, and then make notes of like, if you know in advance you're looking for something specific or you want to check out a certain chair you have been eyeing or whatever, put it on that showroom in your list.
Yeah.
So, because again, like my brain tends to get really overwhelmed and frazzled when I'm overstimulated.
Mm-hmm.
So this was my way of kind of getting to be able to anchor myself. And
You don't want to be on
I'm
the plane and be like, fuck, I didn't go to that one showroom that was like the one I really wanted to go to.
right. Or I forgot to sit on that chair that I spec'd for something. And so, yeah, it's been really helpful. And it also helps us like move through it. Like, okay, this is everything we have on this list. We don't need to go to the next floor. Like, we did it.
Yeah. And we leave when we planned it, leave room for spontaneity,
Yeah, yeah.
leave space for things to happen. You know, that like,
Mhm.
oh, there's a great speaker series that, you know, sometimes there are like multiple days where they do the same panel and you're like, oh, I missed it the first time. Someone recommended it. You don't want to feel like your day is so full. It's sort of like when you go on vacation, if it's an 8 to 5 itinerary, you're going to be
Yeah.
frustrated. So let there be room for it to be loose, for you to move slowly through one showroom. And maybe you walk in another and you're like, okay, we don't need to be here more than 20 minutes. Like,
No, yeah, like
that's
you just
okay. You just do the quick, I call it the Fruit Loop, when you just walk real fast to see what's going on.
yeah,
You just like,
what is the clue list? Make a lap before we commit to a location.
see, okay, so that's like the idea. Well, gay terms here. Like when you get to the bar, you're like, okay, let's see who's here. Let's see what's going on. Where's the spot you want to be? So you do a Fruit Loop and you just kind of go real quick. Like, okay,
I love a
this is
lap.
the spot where we want to hang out. It's near the music. We can see the stage. You're far enough away. Sometimes you got to do a quick Fruit Loop of a showroom and you're like, yeah, I thought this is what it was going to be. And we're not going to spend any more time here.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Or somebody says, oh, you have to check out this place. And then like, so this is just me being OCD about it, but like I jotted down. I even had a little clipboard last time, right?
Yes, you did. You had like
Everyone,
one of those little like 5x7
everyone was making
clipboards.
fun of me, but I think
It
my
was
clipboard
so
is
awesome.
clutch.
Like you had your little papers that you printed like to scale smaller. We could go through like a checklist and you were able to write notes real time.
And we
It's
were really
helpful.
efficient. And the
Yeah.
other thing, okay, so this is my other like, I don't know, this is for to each their own, but so I happen to have a few projects I was sourcing at that time. So I printed out like my little design plans with some questions or holes that I had. So I was looking for dining chairs, I think. So
Yeah.
for each client, I kind of put like their little mood board or design plan. So I had a visual of what I was trying to fill. And then if I had some notes, like this client, I wanted to look at these 4 hands chairs and these dovetail or whatever. And then I would write notes of like, nope, not comfortable, or these are great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I went, and even not related to a design client, like anything that I was interested in looking at, I would scan before I left. I scanned a bunch of vendors to just make note of the ones I wanted to specifically look for and make
Yeah.
notes of them. Because when you're in the showroom, you get overwhelmed. It's easy to miss a random dining chair that you realize, like, shit, that is something I
Like I
really wanted
needed
to
that. I
see.
needed to look at that. Yeah. I think
I like hard
that's
copy notes just
helpful.
because it's faster. You could definitely set it up in Evernote or your notes app or whatever, but
Yeah, if you're on your phone all day, that's gonna zap it. I mean, this might honestly be iPad Pro type of trip.
ooh.
Like bring that so we're less reliant on our phone, but we also can exchange between them. Like, but as you like photo
Just think it
tip.
through of like how you like to work. Like the chicken scratches made it easier for me when I was like feeling rushed or
Yeah. Get
not
a
wanting to
couple of quick
fumble around.
notes.
But yeah.
You don't have to unlock anything and type it. And
Mm,
as you're doing that, think about like you're not going to really take the time, just being realistic. You're not going to have the time to mark up a photo with notes. It's just
well,
not going to
that's
it's
the
not going to
thing.
happen.
Yeah.
So, as you're
Maybe on the
going,
iPad, that might be like a good.
I know I'm thinking that may be an experiment because the battery lasts longer too.
And you could
So,
write
as
right on a
you're
photo with your pencil.
Yeah. So as you're moving, that would be a tip, whether however you decide to do it, like as you're navigating all the places, before you go in to every showroom,
Mm-hmm.
take a picture from the outside with the vendor name, get the
Mm-hmm.
entrance so you remember, and then it'd be good if you could get it to have their name and also see the showroom in the background because it all blurs
Oh,
together.
like,
So
mm-hmm.
you could go, oh yeah, that's that showroom that had X, and
Mm-hmm.
then follow that picture with your pictures of that showroom. So when you scroll through all your photos, it's going to be showroom name, all the photos you took in the showroom, next showroom name, all the photos you took
Yeah,
there,
it's
and
like your
hopefully it's
chapter heading.
easier. Yeah, it's just going to be hard to look back later and get close-ups of stuff that you like and the tag and the label, like the model number, because some of the catalogs for these companies are huge. It's going to take you forever to find that one chair, or like don't forget to get the tags and the labels, the model numbers, so you can reference the stuff that you're interested in later.
Yeah, I always take a photo of the piece and then a close up of the tag. And if it's kind of a specific texture or color, I try to take a close up, a good photo of the color of the material.
Yeah. They
Because
don't
that's
all
the
show
biggest
up
question you
realistic.
have later on websites. Like, is this going to be like truly a walnut color or is it going to come out more
More honey-toned
or
or
dark?
whatever. I've found that photos sometimes aren't color realistic. Like they can capture the texture, but maybe not the color realistic. And a short video
Mm-hmm.
is helpful because you're also under these showroom lights, which are very bright and they're not a natural light color. And the photos sometimes don't capture everything correctly. And a really quick video of those kind of ambiguous colors can help them show up better.
Okay, so my on this topic, my other weirdo power user tip that I don't even think I've shown Shaun this. My
Ooh, exclusive.
methodology for the photos that once you're home, you have a million photos. And it's like,
Yeah.
great, what am I ever going to do with this? So what I've done is I've gone through on my computer, you can do a batch file rename.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know those showrooms, so you're at Arteriors, highlight all those photos that are Arteriors, and then you do a batch file rename. I have them as like LV Winter Market 20 Arteriors, and then whatever the name is or the file number
Oh.
is. And then all of your Arteriors ones are batched together. And then if I'm feeling really crazy, once you do that for every single vendor in showroom, you can then start filing them into folders by lighting, dining chair.
Oh, it's like a whole system.
So whenever I'm looking for dining chairs, I can go into that folder and I know exactly what vendor it is because I've already renamed the file. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So I'm
that's
not looking
very
by
smart.
vendor, I'm looking by type of piece.
Yeah. And that'll make it just faster for yourself later because things do start to move quickly. You want to feel confident about
Well,
it.
or like when you're stuck, like again, like I've been in this dining chair fucking loophole of my life for a client. Instead of going through a million websites, like first I start with my dining chair folder of all the chairs I liked when I was at market and I saw them. And now the iPhone even lets you do a caption on your picture,
Yeah.
which is new. And I'm going to say, sat in it, it's comfortable, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that stuff is important. Like, is this, you have to really like get your notes and your thoughts organized around, is this an entry level chair? Is this mid range? Is
Yeah.
this high end? How does, like, try as you're in the showrooms to think, like, what type of retail store would this be comparable to so I can communicate that with my client? Because that's the selling perspective of buying wholesale, is to be able to tell clients, like, this is a better quality than you would get at Crate and Barrel, and it's at X price points.
Or this chair is cute for your formal living room that you're not like watching a movie in. Like,
Right,
so just make notes of like how you would
this is
use
West
it
Elm
or whatever.
level, or this is
Yeah.
low use. Like, this will be good
Hmm.
for, this is fine for like a side table in a nursery. It's not going to hold up really well as a cocktail table in your living room. Like,
Yeah. So
keep
make
that
those
in
lists
mind.
because honestly, like you're gonna get back and have 5,000 photos and be like, I don't even know. Why did I even take
Yeah.
these pictures? I don't even know what I'm
I
at.
I came back with a lot of notes about upholstery. Like,
Like
the
lines.
the like, is is this comfortable? Is this firm? Is this, like, because a lot of brands have really varying degrees. Like, four hands in general for like sofas and things, they are, like, to me, an entry level, not very comfortable, pretty firm, not gonna last more than 10 years type of sofa. And then you go to other vendors, and then, like, one of them that's not at Vegas, but one that I've been in is Verellen, Verelen. Anyway, theirs is like fucking top of the line shit, like sleeping on a freaking cloud. The angels are singing to you. And those are the types of notes you want to have for clients to tell them, like, I've been in this furniture. This is what we're talking about. Is this a
Yeah.
1 hour piece of furniture, or is this, I could spend 5 hours or more a day streaming Netflix in this piece of furniture?
Right. And recover it and it still would hold up and like
For
down the road.
sure. Yeah. We should run down some questions we ask vendors, because we talked about it a little bit in our trade vendor process party episode, but I feel like this is something that when you're at market makes a lot more sense than it does, in theory. Like, the practice
Hmm.
is much better.
Yeah.
So, big hitters are opening order. Like, what do they need if there's a minimum for you to buy from them?
Yes. Also, where do you ship from?
Yeah, because that's going to make a difference on freight costs and shipping costs and the time that's
Like it's
involved in getting
amazing.
ready.
Like if something ships from California or the West Coast, like it gets here a lot faster, a lot less damage, and lower
God,
costs.
yes. So that's a big one. Also, what their pricing tiers are, or how do you get their best pricing? It could be by volume each year. It could be based off of whether you're a retail, like, store location or not. Know how you get the best rates from them, because you want to build that into your profit margin if you can get a really good pricing tier by
And if you
buying more.
know you want to sell more of that, then you need to just focus on it. So, like from now on, or for the next few
All
projects,
my
I'm
lighting
only
is
selling this
this.
lighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get to
That's
that next tier.
and that's where you start building in profit. And then,
So strategic, not just creative.
exactly. I like to ask about damage rates and how vendors manage damages. Like, who does that go through? Do you have a rep? Do you have an online process? Honestly, most people aren't going to be completely upfront, like, our damage rate is 13%. But I like watching how they respond to that question to
Mhm.
really get the, like, what's the tea? Because that starts to tell you something when they're elusive, or if they try to redirect the question. Then you're like, hey,
Oh, everyone
that
has damages.
right. Well, everybody has damages, and we try to make it easy. And you're like, oh, great, I'm going to be dealing with you all the time, and it's not going to be easy. Like,
Yeah.
that's the, you have to, like, give them the polygraph test of it. But they may make it easy to do stuff, they may not. You just want to start asking those questions up front.
Yes.
The reps will probably be there, so you can ask to
Yeah.
see if you can meet your rep.
Well, and I was going to say, I think it's going to be important then at least this year, to be sure to have appointments in advance. So before, when I was talking about our little list of schedules, it's going to be even more important to have actual appointments and maybe required. So definitely check ahead.
Yeah.
We might have to have appointments to get into a lot of the showrooms, if not all of them. So that's something we hadn't had to do before. It's nice. It was a nice to have, but not must have. So yeah, the reps will be there and they may require appointments.
Yeah. That's sort of when we're taking on the fly as things happen. And as, state, some of the guidelines will depend on what's happening in each state. Other questions for vendors. And I know this isn't always on everybody's top of their list, but if you want to talk about things around sustainability and supply chain, would be, where are your products made? Like, where are they coming from? And it might be multiple places.
And I think it's really relevant right now.
Yeah, like, how is this made? Where is it made? How long is your average production timeline?
Yeah,
Like,
like
if something's out of
sustainability.
stock.
Yeah, sustainability is one part of it, but also the realities of COVID impacts
Logistics.
are things that come from overseas just are really hard to get and take a lot longer right now. So if it's
Yeah,
US or Canadian made, it's a lot
at a premium.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, what are they made of? If you want to talk about, like, some vendors really talk about, like, we use sustainable forestry.
Mm-hmm.
We manage the wood quality we're looking at, or these are all made from, 70% of our product is made from recycled material. Like, those are questions that you can ask, and companies that are using those materials will have an answer for you because they're
Yeah, they
using that
lead
as a
with it.
selling point. So those are questions you can ask. If you want to get into the ethics of it all and you want to find out more, talk about who are their employees, who manufactures their products, how are they treated, where are
Mm.
they. Some brands have some very compelling stories, and others are living that sweatshop life. And I
Oh,
that's what's happening,
or
and we
they
need
don't
to,
know. Yeah, yeah. No, it's true.
or they don't know, and you're like, oh, that's a problem. Like,
Yeah,
you need to know who your people are. And I think when we're right now, like, I'm telling you this, my next market, because we haven't been to a market since the George Floyd protest and the Black Lives Matter movement. We haven't been, or you and I haven't been back in showrooms. You better believe I'm looking around at who these employees are. And if all I see is a sea of boomer white women and old white men, I'm gonna think twice about who I'm talking to. I really am, because it's not enough to be like, oh, but we care, and then they just disappeared. Like, I need to see who their employees are, who their marketing people are, who their executives are, who their reps are. It's a lot of, why market's so white. Like,
yeah,
we need to speak up if that's important to us and talk to people
yeah.
about
It'll be
that.
really interesting to see how that's changed over this past
And I don't
year
want it to
since we
just be
haven't.
performative, but I want to see,
No.
like, where is that? Because a lot
Yeah.
of these showrooms get to choose who they have in front of us.
Yep. Well, they
So
all do.
yeah.
They're in charge of their employees, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's also important to ask about other like retailers that they might sell to. Like,
Mm,
we know a lot of accounts that used to be wholesale only or to the trade only are now showing up at West Elm and Crate
right.
and Barrel, and that
Or
becomes
they
really hard as a designer. We can't compete with their purchasing power, so a client can get something at the same or even a better price if they purchase through these retailers with free shipping. It's a bummer because they're working against us.
Yeah, and I mean, look, that's their hustle, that's how they want to make money, but it does harm us, and you should know going into it. Like, I can tell my client, if they're totally obsessed with this, find out what your purchasing model looks like, know how you're going to respond to that when someone says, oh, this is great, but I saw it at Pottery Barn. And you're like, okay, like, what's the value add? I know a lot of designers who handle that differently. Some will say, I'm not going to fight with the client if it's a piece that I would recommend. Or some of them say, I get paid no matter where they buy it because I'm the one who recommended it. So I make a fee regardless. That's going to depend on your business model. That's a whole bunch of other episodes. But basically find out if they are selling to retailers.
Just so you're not surprised.
Yeah. You don't want to be shocked when the client tells you, I'm finding this at West
Like
Elm.
I know Four Hands sells to West Elm and Pottery Barn. So before I propose it to a client, I'll go and make sure my price isn't crazy
off. Yeah.
And I'll just have to go in with my eyes open, knowing that, okay, I'm going to make a little bit less of a margin on this because I'm trying to be slightly competitive, but I still want it.
Yeah, you want the profit margin in your pocket. And lately, I have been having more upfront conversations with clients about, like, hey, I'm a small business. Like, I make money off design fees and selling product. So if you want to go and support Mr. Pottery Barn and fund their CEO's bonus, like, okay, but I am going to kind of give you the guilt trip of like, you could also be helping me run my business. You could be supporting me and helping me pay for my nephew's college fund instead of putting it into someone's bonus.
$20 difference. Totally. Show them a little sad picture of Pasky going.
Yeah, show them my starving dog, like Sarah McLachlan playing in the background. Or like you can like have a little pin with Cecily on it. Like, but that's, I'm going to be real. Like if people want to keep putting this performance out there of supporting small business, they need to know that we're a small business, that this
we're a
is
small
how
local business. Like we are a small local business.
The money you give me stays in my local economy. I support our local businesses with that money to pay my bills, to buy my groceries, to go to a restaurant. Like if you give it to the Williams Sonoma Group, that money's gone. It's in a corporate bank account, out of state, out of our area. And yeah, sure, you pay some local salaries, you pay some local money, but that's not going to have the same impact. So we got to know our selling points.
Yep. I agree.
We should close with some final thoughts on networking.
Okay.
Give yourself some time to recharge. Market is going to be crazy. Know when you need to maybe not show up first thing in the morning. Enjoy a brunch with someone that you've met. Take a minute to maybe take a little walk in Vegas or in market areas. Like get outside for a few minutes because you're going to be in a mall all the time.
Unless it's summer
in Vegas. But like give yourself space.
Build a little bit of time.
Talk to people in showrooms. Don't be shy. Like if you both were drawn to this amazing textile, be like, oh my God, I saw that and it was amazing. Like this is your chance to strike up those moments in a natural way with other designers. The badge will tell you who they are, their design company, where they're from. This is a cool place. You might
schedule some of these meetups with other designers. Like
if you follow on IG.
Yeah, again, that's how we met. Like, hey, are you going? Okay, I'll go if you go.
Right. And message each other like, I'd love to connect with you. What days are you going?
Give yourself an out. Like, Shaun and I didn't have any long-term commitments in case he didn't like.
If I was a psycho or if I just didn't jive with the energy, it would be like, cool. Like, you're not obligated to stay with me the whole time. Like,
yeah, or vice versa. But yes.
Or we ended up like every meal, come look at my room. It's so cute. Let's get coffee. Are you going downstairs? Yes. Like it turned into that, which.
No, it turned into this. So you never know.
Have yourself ready for that. Oh, elevator speech. It doesn't have to be super formal, but like you're quick. My name is Shaun. I'm the principal designer for Renstead Interiors in Los Angeles. We work on residential design in the X to X range of project. Like have it for reps, for showrooms, for other designers. Just have your quick 30-second moment.
And your business card.
And yeah, a few business cards for people that you actually want to see. Probably not for reps and trade because they're just going to scan your badge.
They scan you. You don't need a ton, but it's good to have a few.
Be ready to follow people on Instagram and ready to make friends. Come ready to
Yeah.
know some other hot young people.
We'll definitely be talking more about it if this is all going to come to pass. So please hit us up if you're going to go to Vegas and let us know if there's any questions. We're not experts by any means, but
We're here to help.
we are here to help.
It's going to be fun. Until next time.
Stay hot, designers. Thanks for joining this meeting of the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Check out the show notes there for links to things we talked about today.
We are keeping the conversation going on Instagram, so don't forget to like, comment, and follow at Hot Young Designers Club.
You can find Rebecca on Instagram at Studio Plum.
And you can find Shaun at Renstead Interiors. That's Wrensted. All right, done. Booyah. It's our anniversary trip.
Ah. Oh no. I love that. I love this journey for us.
I know, it's a real journey.